I am going to say, Mike, you were right. Mike, I was wrong.
And I know what it's for.
And I'm going to say, damn, I can't believe this.
We will get into it, and I have a feeling we'll get into it at 2:45. But Kenny Holland in the interview, nice job by Stoney and the morning crew. Kenny Holland had a lot to say.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my. And it fell right in line with my worst fears. We'll bring Terry to the table of judgment later on. We wanted to start with something. It's okay. You're going to be all right.
This is tough.
But we were talking in our pre-show. The Pistons, I mean, we know the Wings are terrible. That's right out. Pistons sleptwalked through a game in New Orleans last night, got drilled.
A little bit spotty at the free throw line, don't you think?
To the tune of the single worst free throw shooting night in the history of the NBA. That's incredible when you think about it. And, we all have these doubts about the Tigers. I mean, whether they make the playoffs or not, I don't think anybody believes they're a World Series team. So you get to Bob Quinn and his comments about signing free agents and impact people. And, look, Lions made the playoffs last year. Now, they backed in, and it wasn't pretty, and they didn't win a game. But here's the question, Terry, and to the people.
Yeah.
Do the Lions represent our best hope for sports pleasure in the near future? If you just look at, we know what the Pistons are. They're dreck. We know what the Wings are, even if the Wings won't admit it. We think we know what the Tigers are. The Lions are the only team I could argue is on the way up. So I want to throw the number out. I want to let Terry sort through that. 248-539-9797. We'll get to Kenny Holland in a little bit. Terry, you are 84 years old.
Yes, I am.
You've been here for a long time. Your whole life, did you ever think you'd be able to say, without getting laughed out of a room, that your Lions represent not just the best immediate hope, but the only?
I thought I would never, ever, ever be able to say that. And guess what? I'm not going to say it today.
Oh, no.
No, I'm still going to say your Detroit Tigers.
Okay.
And here's why. I don't believe in the Lions. I don't. I've grown up not believing in them. I'm going out not believing in them because of their history and what they've done. I didn't think they're a good football team last year. Okay, they made the playoffs, and they did what they always do in the playoffs. They get drilled. First one and out. They're done. If they make the playoffs again next year, sorry, Sully, that's going to happen again. They'll be swept out. I don't think they have a shot. In particular, Bob Quinn has not gotten the memo. One, this is not a free agent destination. I hope he fails in trying to bring in big-time free agents because that doesn't work. You have to do it through in the draft. If you feel you have one or two pieces you need to be a championship contender, you get that. But you're not going to attract free agents here. And if you're thinking, hey, let me get these big names, let me get these guys in here, we're going to be okay. No, in the NFL, more than any other sport or any other league, big name free agents do not work. What happens a lot of times, these guys are in their late 20s or their 30s. It's a young man's league. They're coming here to get paid. They're coming here to get paid for what they did, not what they're going to do. So I say not the Lions. Still, I'm being bullheaded. I understand that, but I can't go there, brother.
Lions are on the way up. Tigers are on the way down. I mean, if they got enough left in the tank to bring you some playoff drama, to maybe win a division, I could see it with the Tigers. You have the pitching. You play in a terrible division. Maybe the Indians are fake. I'm not yelling at anybody about it. It's more just when you sit down and you go, holy bleep, am I really pinning? And look, whether you're a fan or whether you're like us and you're radio hosts, you want things to talk about. Yeah. You want interesting things to talk about.
You want somebody to do something.
When every team in the city sucks, it kind of doesn't really lend a whole lot to, A, good things to talk about, and B, you guys wanting to hear about it. But I do think the Lions, look, they have the quarterback. You could argue, if it's not Verlander, it's Stafford, biggest star in the city. They made the playoffs. They do have a young roster. And you know what?
Got a New England guy here.
Well, I know, that's so overplayed. But it just, to me, and here's the thing, only GM in town that people might trust. And whether it's fair or not, people don't trust Avila. I think it's absolutely fair they don't trust Kenny Holland any longer. And I think it's actually fair, and I know he gets a free pass, and I don't know why, but I think it's a growing number of people that either don't care or don't trust SVG. So you got a star, you got the quarterback, you have a young roster, you got a new GM, new mindset, you made the playoffs 2 or 3, and oh, by the way, only GM in town that people kind of unilaterally seem to be in favor of. And, of course, he's only been here a year.
Yeah, and I'm one of those people, I'll admit.
248-539-9797. Go ahead, Mikey.
Yeah, I think this question's easy. I think there's no doubt the Lions have the most hope in this city. I don't think it's really close.
Because you think you're going to win the playoff game next year.
This isn't WPRE, but if I had to predict, I would say yes.
Wow.
But no, I mean, this is a team.
First of all, very few people listen to your radio show.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
This is a team who has talent compared to just the ridiculous stuff that's going on with these other teams. I'm not saying the Lions are great, but with how bad the other teams are, I think the Lions are head and shoulders above where the other teams are in this city.
Look, the Tigers, you can make the case because of the pitching. If Zimmerman's right, if the kids take a step forward, even if Fulmer just normalizes and isn't superhuman, they have the pitching and they play in a terrible division. I could argue to you,
They have talent.
they face 3 of the 5 worst offenses in the sport in the division. And they're going to win some games. But if you're actually talking about winning playoff games or winning I can't bet on that aging core of the Tigers. I can't do it.
I hear you, and normally if it was, are the Tigers going to make a run? If that was the question, I would probably say no. However, I have more faith in an aging baseball team than I do with the Lions, and that's sad.
But why is that?
Because the Lions don't do anything. For instance, Joe Mixon, he's on their draft board, right?
Yeah.
I bet you he's not going to be on their draft board in a couple weeks when Quinn tries to run it by Mama Ford. That's just a gut feeling by me.
What's wrong with that?
I think she's going to say no. Well, because it's an example of, is he really 100% in charge of what's going to go around here? And I still contend that he's not 100%, maybe 95, maybe 90, maybe 85, maybe 70. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but I don't think any general manager in the league is going to overrule his owner if the owner says you are not bringing that player here based on the video of him breaking a woman's jaw.
Sure, but there's been other instances. For instance, Caldwell. Do you really think, and maybe this is speculative on anybody's part, do you really think Quinn, if he had his say 100%, that Caldwell would be the coach right now?
That's just a far better example than Mixon. Now, I agree with your second example. The first one, I was just saying, look, dude, it's if an owner goes, look, you're not bringing that guy here. I don't care who you are. You're not doing it. The Caldwell thing, I happen to agree with you on.